Up.
Jacob, you there, my man?
Yes, I am. How's it going, Isaiah?
Doing good. All right, how you doing?
I'm good. JT, nice to work with you. How are you, man?
Pleasure to work with you. Thrilled to be here and ready to roll. Appreciate that.
Very good.
All right, we get up the call screen in a moment as we're live from Wynn. How beautiful is this? Merry Christmas, happy holidays.
I already have the call screener up.
Good. Let me get the
Share my screen a second for you, JT.
There it is. There you go.
We got Brender on updates today as well.
Yep. Okay, man. How's everybody doing, man? I'm just doing a quick half-hour live stream from Wynn, and appreciate you being here. This is kind of the future of what I want to do more of, just the ability to jump in. So jump in the chat if you want me to hit on anything. Yep, we'll get this out. We'll tweet this out. All right, this is going to be fun. Got it. Stan, yep, got him coming up. So, you see
All right,
that.
2 minutes.
Yep,
Guys.
got you, ready to go. Dan Wolkin, yep, perfect.
Packers can clinch a playoff spot with a victory at home tonight against the Saints. Quarterback Jair Alexander is inactive. Kickoff next hour. Coverage now on Sirius XM NFL Radio, Channel 88. Packers game at Minnesota this coming Sunday is flexed to 4:25 p.m. Eastern. Eagles home game against Dallas moved up to 1 o'clock. Philadelphia quarterback Jalen Hurts is in the league's concussion protocol. Should playoff-bound teams rest their starters over the final 2 games. 7-time Super Bowl winning quarterback Tom Brady said on the Sirius XM Let's Go podcast, as a player, no way.
This is what I love. So don't ever think you're going to take away a weekend of football. And to think that I'd have more fun sitting on the sideline than actually on the field throwing touchdown passes, that stuff's beyond me.
You can hear Let's Go anytime on the Sirius XM app. Georgia quarterback Carson Beck underwent successful elbow surgery, officially out for the college football playoffs. Notre Dame, who set to face the Bulldogs in the quarterfinals New Year's Day, lose defensive lineman Riley Mills for the playoffs with a right knee injury. Northern Illinois beat Fresno State in the Idaho Potato Bowl, 28-20 in double overtime. UTSA took the Myrtle Beach Bowl over Coastal Carolina 44-15. On the ice, the Jets hammered the Maple Leafs 5-2. Devils blanked the Rangers 5-0. Whilst the Red Sox reportedly signed right-handed pitcher Walker Buehler to a one-year, $21.05 million contract. Dodger star Shohei
Got
Ohtani
about
won the
15
APL
coming
Rookie
here,
of the
guys.
Year for a third time.
Welcome to Mad Dog Sports Radio Tonight, your home for the best sports talk, great opinions, and live updates on the evening's biggest games. Join the conversation at 888 Mad Dog 6. That's 888-623-3646. The sports night is just getting started, and this is Mad Dog Sports Radio Tonight. Now, here's your host, JT the Brick.
Out of the gate, JT live from Wynn Resort, the Sirius XM studios of Mad Dog Sports Radio, right ahead of Christmas. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays to all. As I'm at this beautiful resort, look at this Christmas tree that they have up here for me. You can follow me and watch it live here for a moment on X at JT the Brick and jump on in. It's not a podcast. It's a live radio show. When it's live, later on with the magic of podcasting, we'll put it up there. But we'd like to hear from you. And again, from my family to your family, have a great holiday season here. I mean, I got it pretty good as I'm in this super multi-billion-dollar resort in this unbelievable studio. So whenever I come in here, it inspires me. I got big TVs, cameras, we're streaming. It's got everything here. But the only thing missing is you. So as I always say, sound off like you got a pair. If you think you know more than the guys who are bloviating on TV, the fake debaters, the sports talk hosts, get on in here and tell me what you think. By this time of night, you should know what you want to talk about. I'm going to give you 3 20-plus minute monologues. I'm going to give you everything I got. You'll get something out of it and then react to it at 888 Mad Dog 6 as we get going. There's Lisa Salters as I'm looking on TV at cold Lambeau Field. Man, when they flex these games or put on these outdoor games in Buffalo, Lambeau, Arrowhead, they put them on at night. You got the Saints tonight at Lambeau taking on Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers, and the Packers are rolling. Jordan Love, 7 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions over the last 4 games. He's playing at a really high level here. And they're in a position now where they're trying to stay in. It looks to me like Green Bay will not advance in the playoffs in regards to their seeding because they are trailing both Detroit and Minnesota in their own division. Very similar to the Denver Broncos in the AFC West, trailing the Chargers and Kansas City, who's going to be the number 1 seed overall. When you're in that spot in the playoffs, which you're not a division winner, you're a wild card. So the top 4 seeds, 1 through 4, will be division winners. The 1 seed will get a bye week. So you know how this works. It used to be 6 teams, 4 division winners, 2 wild cards. They added recently another wild card. So if you're that 7-6 seed and you can't advance, or even the 5 seed, and you're stuck in that seed, you start thinking about getting healthy and getting some time off before the playoffs. That's not the case with Green Bay, because Green Bay knows Detroit and Minnesota are going to play each other at the end of the year, and there's still some work to be done in the NFC North. Speaking of the Vikings, we'll have Paul Allen at the bottom of the hour, the great, and I mean great voice of the Minnesota Vikings. What a story. If we look at all the stories of this year, and that would be the success stories, the teams that are in the playoffs that possibly you didn't think would be. I had Detroit to win the Super Bowl before the start of the year. I had Kansas City, obviously, deep in the playoffs here. But I didn't think Minnesota was a playoff team at all. J.J. McCarthy, they were trying to get him ready to go. He tears his knee, and then they put Sam Darnold in as the starter. And Sam Darnold is going to get about $50 million in the offseason, either from the Vikings or another team. That, to me, is the biggest surprise, and maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers. As the Steelers brought in Russell Wilson, you didn't know if he would start over Justin Fields eventually. Remember that? And they were trying to play both of the guys and figure it out. Now it's Russell Wilson's team. That's been a pleasant surprise. I'm shocked that the Niners are not in the playoffs, and they've been eliminated, because the Niners – over the last 4 years, might have been the best team in football, going to 2 Super Bowls and losing them. Their window was wide open, and now it's almost closed. And then the other surprise is Jim Harbaugh and Sean Payton taking their 2 AFC West teams, the Chargers and Denver, and leading them to the postseason, as it looks like they'll get in. and the Commanders, as I lead with this monologue on what a season Jaden Daniels is having. This story is so important for the future of this league because you want to get a quarterback. And he wasn't the first pick in the draft. He was the second pick in the draft to Caleb Williams. Now, on record, I thought Caleb, and I still think Caleb, is a unique talent. He's one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen live, ever. And I've seen them all. I've seen them all over the modern era, from Dan Marino, Elway, to Joe Montana, to Brady many times. And Caleb Williams came out. I watched him play at Oklahoma, win the Heisman at USC, clearly the number one pick overall. It looks like that's a mistake. It looks like Jaden Daniels is trending early, just like C.J. Stroud, the number 2 pick 2 years ago over Bryce Young. Now, Caleb's going to have a long career, and so is Jaden Daniels. But Jaden Daniels looks much more comfortable. Now, is Chicago that much worse than the Commanders? I don't think so. If you put Jaden Daniels on the Chicago Bears, how good would the Bears be? They'd be in the playoffs. If you put Caleb Williams on the Commanders, would they be a playoff team? Probably not. And what I've seen from Jaden Daniels is truly electric. The guy can do everything. Now, he had a couple of turnovers in this last game against the Eagles, and what a choke job by the Eagles. What a choke job by the Eagles, reminding the Eagle fans, as I call them, the dirty, stinking, green, drunk birds of Philadelphia. Just when you think you're unbeatable, Devontae Smith drops a ball that could end the game, and you end up losing. Here's the game-winning touchdown from the Commanders on Commanders radio as they got a break to get the ball back late, and they decided to go for it.
Second and goal at the 10. Snap to Daniels. Eagles break 4. Into the middle of the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown, Washington! Jameson Crowder! Amazing! Clutch football from the Washington offense! They've done it again!
Commanders Radio, a very proud franchise. Joe Gibbs, the 3 Super Bowls, Joe Theismann, Billy Kilmer. Go to all the great players who have ever played for that franchise. And now they're back. They're back, and they're going to be here. They look like they're going to be not a perennial playoff team, but they look great because they have a quarterback who is going to dominate this league. I don't know if it'll be the next Patrick Mahomes. I don't know. But I wish I had Jaden Daniels out here in Las Vegas, and that was the team the Raiders, that was a player the Raiders wanted more than anybody, but he wasn't available. The Commanders were not going to trade out of that pick for 3, maybe 4 first-round picks. They were smart. Give the Commanders credit, as they had the number 2 pick and other teams wanted him, Jaden Daniels, and were calling to trade up. And they said, nope, we don't have a deal. Our mansion or house is not for sale. We are not going to sell this pick. And we're going to see what's going to happen here in a couple of months with Shedeur Sanders. What happens if the Giants have the number 1 pick overall and everybody's calling? We want Shedeur. We want Shedeur. We want Cam Ward. And those teams said, no, we're not going to give them up for 3 first-rounders. We want our franchise quarterback. Well, the Commanders found that guy. Here's Dan Quinn, the head coach of the Commanders, on Jaden Daniels in an up-and-down game where he turned it over. They made some mistakes, but he was there at the end.
He's able to clear, and knowing that, okay, interception took place, to come down to it and going. I thought it was a big deal to get, a stop, to knowing that we had space and time to go down the field. And if you give him moments, he really lights up in those spots.
That's a tremendous soundbite coming from Dan Quinn, who's been around for a long time. He knows talent, and the kid didn't get rattled. The kid doesn't get rattled, and he's that good. He can win the game with his legs. He can win it with his arms. He can win it with his mind, handling the clock and being composed under pressure. That's why a lot of times you want to draft a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, because if you're a Heisman winner, you're pretty smart. You can handle the pressure. You know what it's like to play under pressure. And Jaden Daniels has been able to do that. Here's Jaden after the game, a division heavyweight fight against a rival in Philadelphia.
This whole week, DQ preached like it's going to be a 5-quarter game. No matter what, obviously it's a very good team over there, and what they've done over the years, how they're established in this league. You never out of it, but you got to go out there. You got to put up a fight. And the game's never done until the clock is 0.
What a difference it is having Jaden Daniels, and the Commanders going forward are in great hands. Oh, my God, they're in great hands. He's a tremendous player. He's a gamer. He's smart. He's athletic. He's exactly what you want as the face of your franchise. And the Commanders got a lot going on. Stadium issues. They might change their name back. They got a lot going on. Brand new ownership. Magic Johnson's involved with that. This is a brand that is very important for the NFL, okay, in the nation's capital here, and it's been adrift with Daniel Snyder. Once they ran out Daniel Snyder, who caused a lot of chaos with leaked emails, everything he's done along the way, they were able to get rid of him. And now it seems like the fan base is rejuvenated again. If you're a fan of the Washington Commanders, I need to hear from you tonight. This is a big national show on a big channel. We want to hear from the Commander fans. We haven't heard from you in close to a decade. It's a big local story there in and around Maryland and around Virginia. I get it. But we're on everywhere on the satellite here on Channel 82. If you're a Commander fan, sound off like you got a pair. Do you believe you can make a run to the Super Bowl? I think they can. If they get in and they have the ability to win a game in a cold weather game or in a dome, I think there would be, you think Detroit and Minnesota want to play Jaden Daniels? I mean, they're better teams, but Jaden Daniels is an X factor. Going to be incredible to see what Washington does in the postseason. Let's get to Buffalo and the Patriots. Man, the Patriots came out, had a 14-0 lead. Everyone's looking around saying, Buffalo, what are you doing? You already trailed Kansas City by a couple of games. You want to get a win here in case Kansas City fails on Christmas and loses a couple of games here down the stretch. James Cook, what an addition for Buffalo. He's been the engine. You know, Josh Allen's the MVP, but if they don't have this guy, Buffalo's not a Super Bowl threat.
2nd and 9 with 10:19 left. May from the shotgun, throws it out in the flat.
The running play wasn't firing correctly, so I had to just transition to the other play. It's the fumble to that play.
It's a touchdown. The Bills recover the ball in the end zone. Taron Johnson jumped on the football for the touchdown.
All right, that was the Taron Johnson play. Sorry about that. Cook had the big game also. The important story is this is Josh Allen banged up his hand in this game as we're waiting for more news on it. Here's what he said after the game.
Yeah, I mean, it took a good 5 to 10 minutes, so just making sure we're trying to get some blood flow back in there and some activation. You know, when it's cold like that too, the more you leave it out, the number the whole hand gets. So it was a weird feeling. Just glad it's gone now.
It's not easy being a Buffalo fan. I got a bunch of buddies. I went to college in upstate New York, and Buffalo's really cold. I mean, biting cold. And when you flex a game out of daylight into nighttime, like we're seeing tonight in Lambeau Field, it is miserable on the fans there, unless you're in a suite where you got to wear 6 or 7 layers there. And Buffalo might not play at home in the AFC Championship game. I know a lot of Buffalo Bills fans who feel that Josh Allen and the Bills are better on the road than they could be at home, where they've had some mental lapses there. Just love watching Josh Allen play. I think he's clearly already secured the MVP of the NFL. Buffalo, do you have enough to catch Kansas City, considering Kansas City's got to play here on a short week? 888-623-3646. And I just want to give credit to Mike McCarthy, as the Cowboys have been eliminated. So why am I doing this? Because McCarthy got his team to play against Tampa Bay and be spoiler, knowing that they're out of it before the game. Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy knew that they weren't going to make the playoffs here, but they played hard. Mike McCarthy had his team rocking. But Brett Baker Mayfield, they were flying around in the secondary. Here's the Dallas head coach after the game.
But I just can't say enough about the character of our football team. And really was no blink. So I think once we got the game kicked off, we just we fell into the way we planned on playing, regardless of what happened before we went out there. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, that's what it did feel like for Dallas. A little bit too late. We said that about the Niners too. So I'm going to get into a lot tonight. You know, I struggled today. You know, the Raiders won a game yesterday that I was part of the broadcast, and I'm dealing with fans who are upset that they won, believe it or not. Can you believe we live in an era now where people are upset with a win? Oh, I want a draft pick. I want a draft pick. The draft isn't until April. Calm down. You don't know who you're going to get. You don't know if they're going to be a bust, a great player or not. But teams play hard. Every coach in this league and every player wants to win every game. Every game they play, no matter what. I don't care if you're in New England, Seattle, Miami, Los Angeles, and all points in between. I don't care if you have 2 wins, 3 or 4 wins. Every player is trying to put their best performance on tape. Because most of these bad teams that are out of the playoffs a month ago, those players are not going to be invited back. Those players are going to be cut. And they're going to be let go for new players. And the players that are let go are going to have to find jobs on other teams. And the only way they're going to get those jobs is if they play their ass off while every scout is watching and every GM is looking to upgrade their team or to add depth. So for all you fans out there that can't handle winning, you're disgraceful. Look, we know the Raiders haven't quit. They've been in all their games, and they play hard. The New York Giants have quit. The Giants have quit. The big blue wrecking crew, after the Daniel Jones debacle and moving him, they have laid down. They are done. They have no intention of competing in the number one media market. Their fans are ripped off more than any other fan base in all of professional football. At least you go to Allegiant Stadium in Vegas, you get a rock concert at halftime. You might get someone to come out and perform and put on a show, and you're going to get an unbelievable nightclub experience there. You pull into that dump at MetLife to see the Giants and a team that quit overall. The Giants are desperate for the number one pick, and they're acting that way. The Cowboys and the Raiders and other teams are out there competing. So if you want to tank, go ahead and tank. But I'm here to tell you on Mad Dog Sports Radio that players and coaches and owners don't tank. They want to win every game. They want to go balls out. They want to win. They don't want any losing to seep into the DNA of their franchise. And when they get the loser mentality into their franchise, they want to cut the cancer out. You want to get rid of losers and you want to bring in winners. So if you want to tank for Shador or Cam or Travis, maybe you get it right. There's been plenty of players out there that were supposed to be saviors to franchises, and they didn't even make it out of their rookie contract. Quitting is for quitters. Winners in every sport, in any walk of life, compete every day to be great. They walk into the building, they lift weights, they run, they do cardio, they go to meetings, and they have one goal: to celebrate in the locker room after the game. It doesn't matter if it's the second win, the 12th win, the third win. Winners want to win, and these athletes get to the NFL because they're winners. They don't mail it in. They don't take shortcuts. The majority of players in the NFL compete every day to be great. That's the monologue. 888-623-3646 is the number as we get rolling here. Everything else in the college football playoff, I'm all over that. Let's start off also with Ricky Henderson passing away. I want to tell Ricky stories tonight. I didn't know him well. I met him a number of times. He's the greatest leadoff hitter of all time. He's got to be a top 10 player to ever live because he's the leadoff hitter on the greatest team of all time, the greatest lineup of all time. I'll get to that. Let's start off with Chris in West Oakland. Chris, start us off. You're on Mad Dog Sports Radio.
Hi, JT. Yeah, Ricky's the reason I called mainly, but I'm going to throw the Raiders in real quick. I agree with you 1,000%. Look, I know the importance of the draft, getting a quarterback, but I live in reality. My hat is off, and I have unlimited respect to Antonio Pierce and the Raiders for showing up and playing every week hard. Now, whether Pierce comes back or not next year, that's a debate to have after the season. His number one selling point is going to be, look, our season's been over since Halloween, and these guys show up to play. I've got these guys ready to play every single week. NFL players, I can't sit there and watch a game, JT, and say, damn, I'm pissed off that they won the game. I understand the importance of a draft. We'll deal with that later. But I have nothing but respect for professional athletes that strap it on and go out there and play their asses off every single week. The Raiders won a game against two bad teams yesterday, but they showed up. They could have packed it in, and they played hard to the end. And again, that's what true professionals do, whether they're back next year or not. But the main reason I called is Ricky. Look, man, what a terrible year to be an A's fan. We lose our team and our greatest player and an Oakland treasure all within 2.5 months. Ricky was Ricky. The guy literally looked like he could still play, and you talk about shocking. There's a lot of things you can argue about in JT and baseball, man. Who's the best pitcher? Who's the fielder, center fielder? There is no debate about the greatest leadoff hitter, and there's 8 years old. I saw Mays at the very end of his career with the Mets. The greatest baseball player I ever saw that could affect the game in so many different ways was Ricky Henderson. And I'm here in the Bay Area. This is really a sad, last couple of days because this was an icon. And how coincidental, probably the two greatest athletes, most popular athletes in the history of Oakland, Snake Stabler and Ricky Henderson, were both Christmas Day babies. That's just controversial. And like I said, been a lot of drinking and shots to Ricky. I want to leave you with this, man. There's been a lot of great wiki quotes. We'll talk about this guy, the next few months. Ricky's final ever quote after throwing out the first pitch at the final game in Oakland for the A's. They asked Ricky, "Are you sad that the A's are moving?" Ricky looked right at the camera and said, "No, man. Ricky got too much money to be sad. There is nothing more Ricky than that. Rest in peace, Ricky. You are one of the best ever, a Mount Rushmore player. It is a sad, sad day here in the Bay Area. You will be truly missed." And let me finish with this, brother. Merry Christmas to everybody. I cherish our friendship off the air much more than the years you let me get on here and rant like a bad man. So to you, your family, everybody out there, be safe, hug your loved ones, be glad that you're blessed if you're our age and still have parents left around. Merry Christmas, and shots of Modelo and Crown Royal to everybody. And Ricky, you are the best. We love you, brother. Rest in peace, my brother. One other thing, man. How about baseball, JT? We lost Willie Mays, Pete Rose, and Ricky Henderson in a 5-month period.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's ever been in a major sport.
Thanks, Chris.
Rest in peace to all. Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. It's a devastating loss. I got the news Friday night before the news broke on Saturday, and obviously wouldn't tweet it out or say anything out of respects to the family. But Ricky Henderson was one of the top 10 most impactful players ever. To be the all-time stolen base leader and to score the most runs, the sport is based on scoring runs. You can hit a home run, or you could steal 2 bases and score on a ground ball. Ricky was one of the greatest top 10 players to ever play Major League Baseball. A lot of people want to pay their respects to him. Please feel free to do that over the next couple of days. I'm in for Beadle and Decker on Thursday and Friday. I'm here tonight live from Wynn. We got a lot to get to, including Monday Night Football. JT, always honored to be here whenever I'm on. This is Mad Dog Sports Radio.
All right.
Off and rolling. All right, man. I just wanted to do a little monologue there. I wanted to kind of do this. This is what I want to do going forward. Knock out 25, 30 minutes, cut it up. So you got my opinion on Jaden Daniels, Ricky Henderson, Mike McCarthy, all of that. So that's about it. Just a little behind the scenes here at Wynn, the Super Resort. Everybody, I will be live streaming tomorrow at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. Thanks for joining me. Greatly appreciate it. Merry Christmas, everyone.